one's
Look, well, my team's leaving, last day tomorrow. Just going to a bar.
Good evening. Welcome to the Hillsborough Township Planning Board public meeting of October 4th, 2018. All please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Present.
Mr. Hestag.
Here.
Mr. Raji.
Here.
Mr. Delcor.
Here.
Vice Chair Julian.
Here. Okay, next up is the disposition of minutes we have in our packet. The first set would be from June 28th, 2018. I'll take a second and read it, and then we could make a
The only
motion.
two members eligible to vote on such are Mr. Peason and Mr. Hestag.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to pass minutes of June 28th.
I'll second that.
Beasley.
Yes.
Mr. Hestag.
Yes.
Okay. Next up is the planning board public meeting minutes from July 12th, 2018.
Same.
Make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Mr. Beasley.
Yes.
Mr. Hestag.
Yes.
I think I'm eligible too, correct?
No.
You sure? It says so.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Apologize. The board has to be
All right,
taken
so
out.
I'll say yes.
Sorry. Take the board.
All right, next in your packet, we have some dispositions of resolutions. The first resolution would be amended final major subdivision approval for Hillsborough State Homeowners Association, Northview Drive, Block 199, lots 19.07, 19.09, 1910, 1911, 1912, 1913, and 1914.
All members, Mr. Chairman.
Can I have a motion to approve
I'll
the
make the
resolution?
motion.
Second.
Beasley.
Yes.
Mr. Hestag.
Yes.
Mr. Raji.
Yes.
Mr. Delcor.
Yes.
Vice Chair Julian.
Yes. Okay. The next resolution would be the extension of preliminary and final major site plan approval for Montgomery Development LLC, Block 142.03, lots 1 and 2.
The chair, Mr. Hestag, Mr. Peason.
I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second it.
Mr. Beasley.
Yes.
Mr. Hestag.
Yes.
Vice Chair Julian.
Yes. Okay, next resolution would be the preliminary and final minor site plan approval for New Jersey American Water Company, 120 Raiders Boulevard, Block 200.06, Lot 25.
Mr. Chairman, I might point out, isn't it Raider Boulevard, not Raiders?
Yeah, it says Raiders on the resolution, so I guess we're going to make a correction, right?
So noted.
Okay, thank you.
Then I will make a motion for 18 PB 05SP extension.
I'll second it.
Mr. Beasley.
Yes.
Mr. Hestag.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay, we're going to save the next on the agenda would be the planning board business, but we're going to save that. We're going to go out of order, and we're going to go to the public hearing, and then we'll come back to the planning board business after that. So we have a public hearing. John Zemachowicz, file 07 PV 26MJ for a 2018 extension request, rescheduled from September 6, 2018. Council?
You know the drill, Richard. Into the mic.
Richard Schatzman, attorney for the applicant. We were here last June.
Closer to the mic, Richard.
We were here last June for a year's extension. At that time, I told you we've completed all our plans. The plans have been signed off on. There's a few outside agencies that have to be finalized, and upon that, the plans can be signed after the bond is posted and the other contributions to the trees, et cetera, et cetera. So we haven't sat on our rights, but we're moving as fast as we can. So we would ask that the extension be granted until June 30th, 2019. I don't believe there's any problems with the zoning, Mr. Maskey. The R zone hasn't changed with any bulks or use or anything else. That's it.
Does anybody have anything they need to say, or Dave?
Nothing.
Okay. Okay, with that being said, we can have a motion to extend the file 07PB26MJ for a one-year extension till June 30th, 2019.
Correct.
Someone like to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Do you need to open the public at all?
Yes.
Probably do. Okay, so we'll just make a motion to open it to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Anyone from the public like to comment on this? No, you're good? Okay, with that, then we'll close the motion to the public.
Move to close.
Second.
Okay, then we will make a motion to approve, or make a motion for file 07PB26MJ for 2018 extension request until June 30th, 2019. Make a motion?
Yeah, so moved. Again.
Second.
There, back on track.
Mr. Peason?
Yes.
Mr. Hashtag?
Yes.
Mr. Raji?
Yes.
Mr. Delport?
Yes.
Vice Chair Julian?
Yes.
Thank you very much for your
Thank you.
time.
Thank you.
Okay. I have in my packet here something that I don't think anybody else has, but just let me take a second and read it. It's it's from Sean Lepani, and it says, Pam, please accept my notice of resignation as chairman and member of the planning board, effective immediately. My appointment to the township committee dictates this action. Thanks to all fellow planning board members for their dedication and commitment to the board. So we certainly wish Committeeman Lepani all the best, and we're certainly going to miss his leadership and hard work here on the planning board. So like I said, we wish him all the luck, and we'll see what happens down the road. Okay, next up on the agenda, we have some other things. We just want to go over.
Question, Mr. Chairman, sorry. Council, can we move forward on, or do we just have Mr. Julian as acting as he's vice chair, or?
Mr. Julian can be acting as vice chair, or the board could designate a new chairman. He can clearly serve as acting chair in his current capacity without any formal action being taken.
But if for whatever reason he doesn't attend, then we need to have an action to have someone chair,
Then we need
correct?
an action to fill a to appoint a acting chair for the evening, which this board has done before.
We can do it the night of.
Huh?
We can always do it the night of,
Okay.
unless someone really wants to be vice chair.
I was going to name Rob.
I know. Well, I see a lot of finger pointing going on.
I think we can,
And you know, that means you cannot be absent for the remainder of the year.
Okay.
you'll just simply
That's fine.
designate someone.
I just want to make sure we didn't need to take an action, that's all.
No.
Okay, so we can cross that bridge if we
Of course,
need
that
to.
would run if we can
Okay.
come to it.
Sounds good.
Just take your vitamin C, no getting sick.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so then moving on, there was some planning board business. There is a green development checklist for sustainability points, so I know Mr. Maskey, you were at the Environmental Commission.
Yes.
And talked to them about it. So I know there's some feedback with that. I had a chance to take a look at it, and maybe some of the others did as well, so we could take some time and talk about that.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick overview. You all have the green development checklist in your packets. This is primarily being done to gain 10 points on our sustainability certification for the coming year. I believe you're all familiar with the sustainability program. This would be an additional checklist that would be included in all subdivision and site plan application requests. And although the completion of the checklist itself would be required in order to be deemed complete, the information and questions that are included in it do not have to be fulfilled by the applicant. In some ways, it's an educational process. It's a two-way educational process. It gives developers a chance to look through these various questions and perhaps consider using some of them that they might have not have in the past. The township learns by seeing which of these practices, if any, are being utilized out in the field now that we may not be aware of. So we took it to the Environmental Commission a week or two ago to get their feedback. They were good with it. They actually saw it as a good tool for their purposes, so when an application comes before them, they can almost use it as a checklist of their own, as a questionnaire. There's things, it reminds them to ask certain questions and to encourage developers to use some of these practices. The checklist itself has 3 sections, which is attached to the transmittal memo. You'll see some of them are marked with a red SJ. Those are required by Sustainable Jersey to be included in the checklist. Anything that doesn't have an SJ, it comes off that template, but you wouldn't necessarily have to include it here. I should also point out that because this is a required checklist, the Township Committee would actually have to adopt it after the Planning Board sends up whatever comments they might have. So there are 3 basic sections that address various aspects of a given application. The first section has to do with the context within which the development is being proposed. So there are questions such as, is the site in a redevelopment area or a brownfield? Is it served by public transit? Does it include historic preservation? Does it support the historic context of the surrounding historic properties? Does it provide or enhance following the land use types, diversity of type of income and housing, et cetera? Then it goes down to the site level, and it asks site development specific questions. Does the design provide for minimum site disturbance during construction? Low impact design features such as bioswales, rain gardens, green roofs, and it goes on for another 7 or 8 questions. And then it gets down to the building level itself. Ask questions such as, does the building meet any criteria for a certified green building? Is the building oriented to maximize the benefits of daylighting and energy conservation? They ask questions about water reduction, about energy conservation, and indoor air quality and the types of materials being used. So it's sort of a laundry list of sorts of how a project could be considered green, if you will. And again, it's the use or non-use of any of these practices by a given developer cannot be held against them when it comes before the board for a vote. But they would have to fill the checklist out, even if everything says no. They have to fill it out to meet the completeness standards. So, as I said, we had it in front of the Environmental Commission. They gave us good feedback. Now it's in front of the Planning Board. If you have any comments that you'd like to make, and then the next step would be to take it up to the Township Committee to be adopted as part of the official checklist package.
Does this go anywhere other than our files?
No, it's the same, you know, when it's the application packet is the application form, name, address, then there's all these items, everything from wetlands mapping, all the things that would have to be included in an application.
But it's not, it doesn't have to be submitted to Sustainable Jersey, it doesn't get tracked by state requirements?
No, we would submit proof to Sustainable Jersey that we've adopted it, but
Right.
not every application,
Okay.
no, it's just part of the application that
Okay.
goes in the file with all the other information.
So by adopting this, it gets us 10 Sustainable Jersey credits?
Correct.
what is that, what are the credits, what are they good for? Are they like frequent flyer miles?
Yes,
or
exactly. If you get 10,000 miles, you can get a half of
a
the
bit of
ticket.
toaster or something?
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't assume everybody's aware of it. The township has been involved in this for several years. It's the Sustainable Jersey program. We have silver level. We've had it for several years. And you have to, you get to a certain level, but you have to keep feeding more points in to maintain it. There's a shelf life to some points. So you might have done it a few years ago, but you have to do it again. This would be a new activity, action step, as they call them, that the town can add to its quiver of points.
It does affect certain things that the state looks at in terms of how it evaluates the towns, including if there's, any kind of grant or funding or anything. It requires that you be at a certain level.
I know when I saw it, I thought it was good. I mean, we certainly don't want to have additional burdens in terms of paperwork, but I mean, part of the Environmental Commission's responsibility is to evaluate or recommend further environmental assessment. So this is kind of why I looked at it like a little mini environmental assessment itself. So it could, it's an additional paperwork. In the long run, it might save applicants from having to go and do further stuff if they kind of get everything up front. So I thought it was good.
Yeah. As I say, it's a two-way street in the sense that we will learn what's going on out there. I found out fairly recently, I believe the RPM Affordable Housing building on Amwell, it's a LEED certified building. I wasn't aware of that. They factored in enough stuff to get the LEED certification. So it'd be good to know what else is going on out there that we can point to as examples to other folks. Well, this is how so-and-so has accomplished this particular aspect.
Yeah, there's no clear requirements based on the answers. It's just to provide the information.
Correct.
So I think it is good because it ensures that these questions are asked, because otherwise some of these questions might forget to be asked. And you might think, oh, I wish we asked that. So it kind of covers us and identifies certain things that can help the different committees make a decision. So it's good.
Good point.
So David, once this gets adopted, and if there's ever revisions to it, does it have to go back through a formal review
Yes,
process?
any of the official checklists that are part of the application have to be adopted and or amended by the governing body.
So, I was just going to say, so two items on page 5, under the green building section, 1 and 3, there are hyperlinks, and we know hyperlinks will tend to drift, fade away, come dead ends. And I'm just wondering if there's any way to, because one of them is a PDF, and I'm just thinking for that one, why that wouldn't just be an attachment here versus relying on these links.
Yeah, well, if the point is, yeah, we could probably review any links that are in here, just general information, and we could probably check them out once in a while. And to update a link, we probably wouldn't have to go through the whole process again. That's just updating a link. It doesn't change the information, it just updates the link. Or if the link is gone, you're right, sometimes they just disappear,
It's just the address that's there.
Yeah,
that's
no, I think
listed there,
that's a
so.
good point.
Dave, kind of to follow up on that, these type of checklists, do they, or does the planning board or board of adjustment, maybe label them with a form number and an addition date, so if there's an updated form that somehow in our system or word processing that, we know we have the latest edition?
Yes, when it's adopted.
So it'll be labeled appropriately?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
So, Mr. Maskey, what do we have to do? Should we?
You could do a resolution, I suppose, recommending to the township committee that you endorse the green checklist, or? Well, I guess after you introduce it, I guess, more for formal, yes.
Yeah, I think, Mr. Chairman, a motion, just for the moment, referring it for township committee action is probably sufficient if the committee introduces it, and it'll come back here, then at that point, a formal resolution will probably be more.
Okay. So can I have a motion recommending that the Township Committee
Consider.
consider the green development checklist?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Beeson?
Yes.
Mr. Hestag?
Yes.
Mr. Sirachi?
Yes.
Mr. Delacorte?
Yes.
Vice Chair Dooley?
Yes. Okay, so we're going to move that on.
If I might add something to planning board business, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
4 of the 5 members tonight are on the master plan subcommittee, so we're captured ordinances. You have the latest, or final draft, if you will, of the reexamination report. You recall we discussed this some time ago. All the mapping has been completed, so I've updated it with the maps and the statistics. Right now, the planning board meeting, we need to get together again and discuss it and go over it before the full board considers it. Right now, there's nothing on the agenda, the planning board regular agendas for either October 11th or the business meeting of October 25th. So, A, before you leave tonight, you might want to cancel those, but B, if you folks already have it penciled in on your calendars, would you want to get the subcommittee together at an earlier time than 7:30 on either one of those dates so that the full board can take this up in November?
Because you said it has to be,
The 10-year window when we're there.
okay.
So we need to.
But our deadline is November 1st.
I think with a week or two,
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's going to matter that much. But, I mean, the sooner the better, let's put it that way. If you want to meet sooner,
This is just planning board approval, right?
yes, planning.
Doesn't
board.
need anything else?
No, just planning board approval.
That needs to get done.
So how's,
So when would we actually be able to?
If the subcommittee were to make if subcommittee were to have a final meeting and make a recommendation, the board could, as early as November 1st, put it on the agenda for adoption. Is that?
Do we have a meeting in November, the first
November
meeting?
1st. yeah.
November 1st.
Okay.
November 1st.
I didn't just sort of.
Okay.
That'd be fine. I want everybody to know I just didn't pick some random day.
I knew, I just wanted to make sure it was clear on the record.
The subcommittee
Thank
must be once, twice, before November 1st, obviously, that's up to you, so we can get it on the agenda for November 1st, and then the whole board can have a discussion. Obviously, we'd have copies for everybody with any adjustments that the subcommittee would make in the meantime.
so we could either do the 11th, 25th, or, I mean, we could.
Or some other date.
Or we could consider the 1st, but just get here early, or is that?
Well, if we
That's
have
pushing
Well,
changes.
Yeah, we need time to amend it.
I can't make the 11th, but I
So
can
the
make the
11th 's next
25th.
week.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, the 11th 's next week, and then 2 weeks after that is the 25th.
25th, yeah. 25th I'm good, 11th I'm not.
Now, again, it can be any date.
How about-
And then, yeah, I mean, pick another day.
Either day is okay.
Either day?
For me.
25th?
25th it
This
is.
way you have a little bit of time to read it, and then get back on the 25th, and it'll be
What
fresh
time
on
do you want to meet?
7.
Yeah, probably
Do
could.
we have,
7:30?
do we have items for
Are
the
you
business
on?
meeting?
No.
You're not?
You guys would have.
Oh, what?
So it's just us?
You're not on the
Yeah,
sublet?
right, it's just
Oh,
you.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm just letting everyone, I'm free for all of it, both dates.
what's that?
I'm free for both dates.
I know, but I figured you couldn't get here until 6:30-ish, so 7,
6:30 is probably the earliest I could get in here.
yeah.
6:30?
So make it 6:30 on the 25th?
Okay,
Okay,
sounds good.
okay.
On
I'll see if, do we need to talk?
Oh,
6:30.
this floor, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll see if we get the conference room A in the meantime. The whole boardroom.
Okay. Does Sean get out of it?
Appears to be, so
Yes.
unless we want,
Yeah, Sean
Assign
is
him
out.
to the,
Okay.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
Okay, so it'd be the 4 of us then?
yes.
Okay.
Right. It should
or do we need
cancel those.
to have a fifth, or no?
Well, actually, Bob was actually an alternate on the subcommittee. Is that what you mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we had 4 plus an
so
alternate.
I'm the fill-in.
Yes.
So now you're 4 without the.
So now you're fully responsible.
Okay.
I'm full of it.
Mr. Chairman, the board has a meeting scheduled for the 11th. As Mr. Maskey's indicated, there is nothing on the agenda. There is nothing on the official agenda for the 25th. The subcommittee will meet. That doesn't require a formal meeting. So I believe the recommendation is to cancel both the October 11th and October 25th meetings.
So moved.
Make
Second.
Well, let Neil, make
So
the-
all in favor of canceling,
Do you have a second?
I think
I was just
Committeeman
gonna-
Dalcor.
Okay.
we're letting
Okay.
the lawyer
All
announce
in
the.
favor?
All,
I guess
all
so.
in favor of canceling October 11th meeting and the 25th meeting, planning board meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so those two meetings are canceled.
Subcommittee's still meeting on the 25th.
Subcommittee on the 25th, and then the planning
6:30.
board on the 1st.
Okay.
Okay,
That works.
Thank you.
thank you. Was
Business
there
from the
any,
floor.
was there any other correspondence? I don't think so.
You need business, and you need to open up to the public.
Okay, we'll open, at this time, we'll open the floor to the public. Anybody from the public have anything? Okay.
I see the public shaking their heads, so, no. So,
So do we need a motion to close to the public?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
All in favor?
aye.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. So at this point, I'm going to I need a motion to adjourn the planning board meeting of October 4th, 2018.
Move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Second. All in favor?
Sorry. All
Aye.
in favor?
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.